Well, what's also interesting is that now that the conservative popularity is going up, we're going to come to a time in a race, and it already happened actually like a week ago or whatever, but the whole term of strategic voting is going to come in. And
Mm.
it's possibly the thing I hate the most about politics because it happened, the same thing happened in 2018. I remember when I was working uh, in that election where we saw that the liberal popularity started dropping. Kathleen Wynne, her popularity was dropping very deep. So now it came to the point. I'm not gonna say whether they're pushing for it or not, but they were pushing for it. The NDP, when they're talking to voters, they're like, okay, you see what's happening in the polls with Kathleen Wynne, her popularity is going down. The conservative, it looks like the conservatives are ahead. It's time for us to stop this conservative party. How do we stop the PC party? How about you join the NDP fold? Switch your vote from liberal to NDP. And that's the thing I hate the most because at this point, you're not technically voting your interests. You're just voting for somebody else not to win, right? And in Canadian
Mm.
politics and in a lot of politics it's very local. Like we are
Mm.
voting, you, me, and all the Canadians. We're all voting for our MPs, in our riding at home. So if that MP in your riding at home is not someone you can support or you don't think is going to help your community, why vote for that person? So I don't like this whole movement of strategic voting because I know it's going to start happening now, and a lot of voters are going to start hearing it more and more as the conservatives' popularity is going up. It's going to become a moment where people are going to be like, "All right, let's stop Erin O'Toole from winning. Come in the fold and vote the Liberal instead of voting for Jagmeet Singh because obviously the Justin Trudeau is second, right? So
Mm.
we'll start seeing that happening. I don't believe in that. I believe you vote your interests. Politics is local, so you vote for a local MP, and whatever happens, happens. So in 2018, we saw a lot of people now come to the NDP vote for Andrea Horvath. At the end of the day, who won the election? Doug Ford won the election at the end of the day. So I don't know what was gained from that at all, right? But yeah, I think we're gonna start seeing that a lot. Well, I don't know what you think about strategic voting, but for me, it irks me because it's not democracy, man.
Yeah, no, I think like, like if you're, I feel like I understand where people come from when they talk about strategic voting, but a lot of like, you know, but a lot of it is a bit cynical, it comes from like party strategists who are trying to gain more votes. It's not,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't come from a lot of people who are like, oh, well, I like the NGP, but I'm going to vote liberals because I don't want to split the progressives and whatnot. Like I feel like the majority of people vote for what they believe in, and sometimes like the NGP, for example, have had the problem of converting their favorability to votes. It feels
Mm-hmm.
like we're not going to have a majority government. It feels like it unless something major happens. Like right now the Conservative Party is polling around 34 to 35%. The Liberals are polling at 31%, 30 to 31. The NDP is at like 19 to 20. Sorry, it's polling at 19 to 20, and those are the three major parties, and uh you also have like the bloc, that's polling around 6%, but 6% in Quebec, like 6% generally in Canada, but like in Quebec, that's quite considerable. So if you would project seats like right now, like the conservatives would like they would win around like 43 seats, like 43, 44, something around that. That's not majority. The
Mm-hmm.
liberals would be around like 130, 129, something like that. The NDP would be around like 37, and I'm using 338, which is a 338 Canada, which is like a good polling site here in
Mm-hmm.
Canada. Uh, and the Bloc Québécois would have around like 26, 27 seats, So it looks like if this is how the race is going to go, but like a lot can change, obviously. But but there's not a lot of time left, so can change, but I don't feel like it's going to change significantly. It feels like we're probably going to have a minority government, and in a minority government situation, like you vote for the party you want, right? You vote for, if you believe in NDP, you vote for NDP because you want the NDPs to have more seats in parliament and therefore have more influence in the minority government, as they did in the previous parliament. So I feel like that strategic voting stuff will not work as well in this election.